All right, finally, a decision has been taken on where IPL Season 7 will be held. The IPL will begin in UAE, then move into Bangladesh and finally to India. It was the primary focus of the IPL Governing Council to ensure at least some matches happen in India. After the general elections are over, the last set of matches will be conducted in India. Season 7 is likely to begin in the second fortnight of April. So clearly what was on the mind of the IPL governing body was the fact that with general elections during the same months, it was not possible to hold the IPL matches. Security would certainly have been a concern, as the government and the state governments where the matches would be held would not have been able to make adequate security arrangements with general elections also at the same time. So finally a decision has been taken as to where IPL Season 7 matches will be held. They will start with UAE, then move to Bangladesh and finally come to India only towards the flag end. Sports editor Vikrant Gupta is now joining us with more details. Vikrant, the very fact that IPL governing body tried to get at least some matches into India shows that it is important to hold some of those matches in the country for perhaps revenue purposes.
Not some, most of the matches, Maha. The schedule is going to be out in the next hour or so, and we'll get to see that about 60 to 70% matches will be held in India. It's the Indian Premier League. We all know that they took it to South Africa in 2009. It was successful. But then the revenue's been dipping. The franchisees and the sponsors wanted it to be held in India. I mean, South Africa was a very strong contender, but the prime sponsor of the IPL did not have a market there. It was captured by the other cola company, so they didn't want it to be held in South Africa. UAE logistically is not very expensive. It's not very far. It will begin in the Arab Emirates, and then it will go to Bangladesh also. Bangladesh has just hosted the Asia Cup. It will host the World T20. And don't forget the fact that it will also have the Asian market. The crowds will come onto the stadiums. The grounds will be full, and that's where the revenue will also be generated. But the BCCI has also looked at the election schedule. I mean, say for example, 10th April, Delhi gets free, Chandigarh gets free. So these are two grounds which will most effectively get free on the 10th of April. So the reason they're starting around 15th, 16th is the fact that they want to prolong it. May the matches will only be held in India, but they're also looking at a few matches in between as well.
Vikrant, but on foreign shores, what is the kind of spectator turnout that the IPL governing body is expecting in the UAE?
Much better than what you had in South Africa. South Africa, there were people who went to the grounds, but the grounds weren't full. In the Arab Emirates, obviously, we all know that there are Asians who live there. There are not too many Sri Lankans in this IPL, but then the Indians, a few Bangladeshi players, they'll be a major draw. UAE, people will come, but I think more important is the Bangladesh factor. The grounds will be full. And for somebody like Kolkata Knight Riders, it will be a huge opportunity for them to not just earn revenue, but also goodwill.
Vikrant Gupta, many thanks for joining us with those details. So the IPL governing body has taken a final decision on where matches for IPL Season 7 will be held. It will start with the UAE, move on to Bangladesh and then come to India towards the fag end, which is when general elections will get over. But Vikrant Gupta telling us that about 60% of the matches will, of course, be held in India because of revenue purposes.